All right, here we go.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining our program. We'll begin after this short video showing our 2019 Quinceañera celebration at NPH Mexico, sponsored by Love You More. Hello, and thank you for joining us. We are broadcasting live from the NPH Southwest Regional Office right here in Phoenix, Arizona. My name is Lindsay Riley, and I will be your MC for the next half hour or so. Last year, I hosted the Phoenix Power of One Luncheon, and this year, I'm excited to be emceeing our first ever virtual event that is combining several events that have been canceled in the San Francisco Bay Area, Dallas, Denver, Salt Lake City, Phoenix, and Tucson due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It is my pleasure to be here with you. For those of you who don't know, I moved to Arizona 2 years ago. I was introduced to NPH through a friend I met previously when I lived in Indianapolis. After learning about the NPH mission, I knew I wanted to get more involved. Shortly after settling in, I met with the staff at the regional office to discuss ways to get involved with NPH. I now have emceed several events and planned on visiting a home as soon as I can. Here in Phoenix, I am a meteorologist and I work for a local TV station here called 12 News. We would like to thank our virtual Power of One luncheon sponsor, the Hear Me Roar Foundation. Hear Me Roar and its board members have been extremely supportive of NPH and all that we do. We are so thankful that they made our dreams of a virtual luncheon a reality today, and we want to thank you so much for your support. I'm going to explain some basics of the Zoom webinar platform you are all using this morning to get you a little more comfortable. During our 40-minute program, we will control which speakers you see and hear. We will be showing a short video, so you may want to make your Zoom window as large as possible. This can be done by moving your mouse to the top right corner of your Zoom window. This is where the minimize, maximize, and exit icons appear. This is our first time doing a virtual event, so please be patient as there will be a pause as we switch between presenters and some lag time during the video. Now there are more icons that appear when you hover your mouse at the bottom of your Zoom window, like chat, question and answer, and raise hand. If at any time you would like to ask a question, choose the Q&A button and the new window will appear where you can type your question. We will be answering several questions at the end of our program, so be sure to stick around. And now I'm pleased to introduce the Southwest Regional Director, Xavier Walker.
Good morning or afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from today. As Lindsay mentioned, my name is Xavier Walker, and I'm the Southwest Regional Director for NPH USA. Now, you don't have to adjust your cameras. They say that the camera adds about 5 pounds, but quarantine life has added more like 15 or 20 for me. So I'm so grateful that I'm seated in this chair and not standing in front of you for that reason. Welcome to our very first live virtual event. I am so thrilled that we have people calling in from all around the country today. We hope that you are at home, staying safe with your families and loved ones during this time. I'd now like to share a brief background on NPH and give you an update on where we are now. NPH was founded in 1954 by Father William Wasson, a native Arizonan, who at the time was a priest at a small parish church in Cuernavaca, Mexico. The members and parishioners of his church noticed that someone was stealing from the poor box. The sheriffs made an arrest, and Father Wasson went down to the county jail to see who the culprit was. When he got there, it was a 9-year-old boy. Father Wasson asked the young man, "Why are you stealing from the church?" And the response was heartbreaking. "I'm stealing from others because I've been abandoned and living on the streets for the last 3 years, and stealing is the only way I know how to eat." So you see, NPH was truly founded to fulfill a need. Father Wasson took in the 1 boy who was living at the parish, then 9 boys, then 32 boys, and then we started taking in girls, and Nuestros Pequeños Hermanos was born. At this time, I'd like to introduce one of our organization's longest standing partners, Father Frank's Kids. Father Frank's Kids is nestled in Danville, California. Its sole mission is to support the mission and programs of Nuestros Pequeños Hermanos. We are so fortunate to have this foundation in our midst. At this time, I'd like to introduce Donna Clancy, who's a board member for the Southwest region of NPH USA and a board member for Father Frank's Kids. She will briefly share with you the history of the partnership of our organizations. Donna?
Thank you, Xavier, and thank you everyone for tuning in to our Zoom. I'm Zooming to you from Alamo, California, and I want to send out a big hello to all my dear friends who are tuning in. I miss all of your lovely faces, and I hope to be able to give you a big hug soon. Well, Who is Father Frank's Kids? It's a foundation based out of the Danville area that supports the efforts of NPH. Father Frank was a priest from our local Danville parish. He visited Nicaragua and he saw for himself all the children living in the home. While he was there, he met a nun named Sister Phyllis, who was living at the home and in charge of the baby house. Sister convinced Father Frank to return to St. Isidore's to develop support for the homes. Father Frank asked, in his own special way, rather, he told all of our parish that we were going to help, and we did. Of course, we responded. Father Frank's Kids raises funds to send containers of medical supplies, furniture, farm equipment, school buses, commercial washing machines, industrial cooking supplies, school supplies, clothing, toys. Well, you get it. The list is endless. It's a very big family. We hold fundraisers, we fund special projects, and we take our teens on mission trips to the homes. Over the years, we have built a strong, lasting relationship with the children and staff of NPH. In 2006, Father Frank passed away while visiting the Nicaragua home, surrounded by the pequeños who adored him. His legacy lives on through the continued work of Father Frank's Kids, Inc. Today, Father Frank's Kids provides support to the 9 homes and more than 6,000 children of Nuestros Pequeños Hermanos, Spanish for our little brothers and sisters. On behalf of the Father Frank's Kids board and donors, we are so glad to have been able to support NPH for over 20 years and are grateful to all of our California supporters. Thanks for joining us today. And now back to our amazing leader, Xavier Walker.
Amazing leader. Wow. Thank you, Donna. More than 3,100 children call NPH home, and an additional 3,200 children live in the surrounding communities and villages, but attend our schools, eat meals out of our kitchen, and are treated by our medical staff. NPH has homes in Mexico, El Salvador, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Honduras, Peru, Bolivia, Dominican Republic, and Haiti. Whether it's collecting and distributing supplies to those in need after an emergency and natural disasters, offering scholarships to kids in the local communities, or providing health care to those communities, NPH answers the call to serve thousands of children and the communities that we're in. In 2019 alone, we provided more than 114,000 community services and employed over 2,000 local individuals in our countries. NPH enables children to transcend poverty and grow into productive, caring members of their communities and countries. As in any family, the children of NPH have daily chores, such as sweeping, kitchen cleanup, and gardening. All of these things teaches them responsibility. Also, our pequeños give 2 years of service after completion of their high school education. The kids are so happy to give back to the home where they grew up and to help raise their brothers and sisters. Father Wasson, our founder, truly believed that education was the key to break the cycle of poverty. Our children are given a quality education and have the opportunity to pursue a trade or university degree. We are very proud to say that in 2019, we had 42 university graduates, and those degrees are so varying. When you think of the kids here, our university students here stateside, our kids' ambitions are the same. Doctors, attorneys, lawyers, engineers, school teachers. And it's so amazing that these kids have that opportunity to do that. We had 308 high school graduates, and we recognize that a 4-year university isn't for everyone. So NPH also offers to cover the cost of vocational certificates. And last year we had 215 of those. In just a short amount of time, the world has changed. No person or place is unaffected or untouched. Every country and state is experiencing a different stage of the COVID-19 global pandemic. We all have been affected. Many have suffered from failing health, financial loss, or a sense. the coronavirus has begun its spread through Latin America and the Caribbean. Peru has the second largest number of confirmed cases throughout Latin America. Luckily, our home had a plan and has been prepared for the worst. Each home is on red alert, meaning no one's entering or leaving the property. All staff and children are self-quarantining in their homes. Staff were given the option to stay on the property and continuing to care for the children, or to go home and be with their families. Lucky for NPH, most staff chose to stay at our homes and continuing to provide care, even though the consequence of this was drastic, and in some cases, employees won't be able to see their own families for weeks on end. In preparing for some effects of the pandemic, NPHI has already incurred significant expenses. They have proactively hired additional nursing staff across the homes and medical clinics, especially because local hospitals are ramping up to hire their nurses. So we had to get ours hired and trained first. They are also stockpiling PPE and other supplies the clinics and homes need. We are so fortunate to have someone joining us today who can speak firsthand to the impact this pandemic has had on our homes and how NPH is now maneuvering through this new environment. We will first share a short video from a few years ago at NPH Honduras, so those of you who haven't been to a home can get a small glimpse of the services that NPH provide.
When you're poor, you often live in environments and neighborhoods that are extremely violent, that are gang-dominated. Children very early on are induced into crime. Thousands and thousands of children migrate from our countries to the United States.
The worry that while walking down the street, they'll be robbed. On a public bus, thieves will come in and take their belongings away from them. The concern that if you have a problem with someone, that violence might be the way that these things are solved.
Los niños pues están expuestos, ¿verdad?, a mucho peligro, mucha inseguridad. Están expuestos pues a ser mal influenciados, ¿verdad?, en maras, en drogas.
When the children's family fall apart, in PH, we want to be a family for those children who do not have any alternative. Feeling safe is the absolute most important element.
Here on the ranch, kids don't need to worry about insecurity. They don't need to worry about being robbed. They don't need to worry about bad things happening. Many of the kids who live here have experienced these things in the past. Many of the kids who are here because they've lost family members to violence.
I always say the best thing we give our children is when they come to NPH for the first time often, they can have a real childhood again.
Casi no tuve una infancia para jugar, ¿no? Pero cuando llegué aquí en NPH, sí, el hecho que vi bastantes niños, ¿verdad?, siempre me gustó jugar con ellos. Realmente fue una experiencia bonita. Para mí NPH es un lugar seguro.
When the child comes to our family, the first thing we need to do is accept them as they are. Our job is to love them, to correct them, to work with them, to be patient with them, to not give up on them, help these kids to get over bad things that might have happened in their past. We have a number of different programs that teach kids not only what's right and wrong, but teach our kids to care about rights and wrongs that are happening in other places too. For example, Chicas Poderosas, Powerful Girls, where we teach girls of their rights and to teach girls that what they think, what they feel really matters.
Children are the most valuable resources any society has. No child wants to be a refugee. No child really wants to migrate. We give our children the tools to stay in the country.
We tried to shield our kids from some of the troubles that exist outside, while at the same time realizing that one day our kids will be returning to that society.
El salir de NPH uno pues tampoco no es fácil para uno, pero el hecho de compartir con los hermanos aquí en la casa, con los jóvenes, el salir de NPH uno ya tiene con quién compartir allá afuera, pero los mismos jóvenes ya ayuda afuera de NPH uno.
Everything that we have and every opportunity that we're able to create for our kids is because of the generosity of people, because people decide to give to us. In order to be able to continue providing a safe environment for our kids to grow up, to be able to provide them with opportunities to become productive, compassionate members of their societies, we need your help.
And now you will hear from Dr. Edwin Vallecillo, the Director of Medical Services for NPH International. Dr. Edwin arrived at NPH Honduras when he was just 9 years old with his 7 brothers and sisters. He studied hard and was able to attend and graduate medical school, all costs covered by NPH. Dr. Edwin started working for NPH Honduras as a medical doctor, working in the internal clinic, and became Director of Medical Services just last year. He truly exemplifies the power that one individual can have. Dr. Edwin?
Thank you, Lindsay. Hello, everyone. My name is Edwin Vallecillo, and I am from Honduras, and I am based here. I am a family physician, and I work for our little brother and sisters, NPH in Spanish, an organization that is my workplace, but also my family. I grew up in the home of NPH Honduras. I arrived at the home in 1994. My father abandoned my mother, who passed away that year. I was 8 years old. We are 8 siblings, and I am the 4th. My older sister convinced a nearby aunt not to separate the family and look for a place where we could live together. And in that search was that NPH appeared. NPH immediately became my family. During my growth at the home, I have created very strong friendship bonds with friends with whom I grew up. A lot of caregivers, volunteers, and especially sponsors. Growing up, NPH home has been a challenging but very constructive experience, and from which I have taken every opportunity. During my growth, I was taught the value of work, and I did 3 years of home service before starting college, working on the farm and also working with children with disabilities. And before I started medical school, I was able to serve at the home clinic to gain some experience. Inspired by my mother's illnesses and some examples of other physicians who graduate from NPH, I decided to study medicine. I studied medicine for 8 years before earning my medical degree. I have always loved studies. I was working for 2 years for the Honduran government in the mountains, and after that, the national director of Honduras called me and offered me a job as a doctor for the children at the NPH home in Honduras. And of course, I was so happy for the offer and I accept immediately because I will return to the home where I grew up and I will be able to work and serve. For me, it's like serving for my brothers and sisters in my own home. It's a very beautiful job that I have really enjoyed. I would like to share that I have a very close relationship with my siblings. We all live in the city where we were born. Two sisters works as nurses. One sister worked as a microbiologist, and one sister became an instrument technician in the OR. Two of my sisters works in banks. My brother is an engineer. So we are all doing well. Some with their own family, and all this is thanks to the miracle of NPH. I worked for nearly 5 years as a doctor for children at the home, and I have certainly strengthened my abilities. I have witnessed all the programs the organization allocates to provide acceptable health levels for the children we protect. Last year, I applied for the position of Director of Medical Service internationally, and it turns out that I was promoted for this position. Now, in my new role, I oversee 9 clinics in 9 countries to support local health teams and ensure that our primary healthcare system at NPH level provides the basic service to ensure the health of the entire population we serve. I can proudly say that NPH has transformed my life and my family, and I really feel that NPH is a big family worldwide. This year, like all families globally, we have been hit by COVID-19. In my capacity as Director of Services, since we saw the first danger signs, we prepared. We designed health protocols for all the homes. Now, all the homes are in red alert level from our protocol, which means that the homes remain at a certain level of total quarantine. We only work with essential staff. The health staff is leading together with the leaders of each home the strategy to follow. We continue to constantly provide training and education tools to the teams. We are trying to increase our ability to respond before case of COVID in our homes. When possible, buying PPE, trying to refill our stock of medicine for our population with chronic disease, as we anticipate that distribution change will be affected. And in this way, protecting our entire family to the fullest. So far, no cases are reported inside the homes, and we continue to implement the measures and hoping and praying for the best. Thank you very much for being here today. I really appreciate your presence and I wish you be safe. So on behalf of our pequeños and all the children, we want to thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Edwin, for joining us from Honduras to share your story. I just want to share with all of you that at the end of our program here in a few minutes, there will be a Q&A session with Dr. Edwin and myself. So if you want to use the Q&A chat on the bottom of your screen to start submitting those questions, that would be great. Like Edwin and his 9 siblings, NPH provides so much for children who may arrive with nothing. Edwin and his siblings were abandoned by their father, and his mother's health grew increasingly ill, and his entire family was brought to NPH. The sad reality of our jobs here at NPH is we have 6,300 Edwins. We have 6,300 pequeños that come from some of the darkest corners of the earth and have truly heartbreaking stories. And it's truly hard to understand sometimes where our children are coming from and where they've been. The beautiful part of our job is we have 6,300 Edwins. We have 6,300 pequeños that are motivated to be happy, motivated to learn, and motivated to be a productive member of their own society. We have 6,300 Edwins that we get to impact every single day. Edwin and his siblings have gone on to be engineers, accountants, bankers, a doctor. It's amazing that Edwin grew up at our home, was abandoned with nothing, went through medical school, came back as the doctor for the internal clinic at the home in Honduras, and is now the director of medical services for our entire organization. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what NPH is all about, raising productive members of society. So Edwin, thank you for being here with us today. We truly appreciate all that you do for NPH and all that your family, your siblings continue to do to support our home in Honduras. Our homes are dependent on fundraising from fundraising offices across the country, across the world. These much needed funds are currently at risk since every country is taking action to survive their own health and economic crisis. Over the course of the spring and summer, the Southwest region had several fundraising events planned and projected to raise roughly $300,000. These events were to take place in Dallas, Denver, Salt Lake City, San Francisco, Phoenix, and Tucson. In light of our current situation, all of those events have been combined into what you're seeing today. Today, our goal is to raise half of our projected revenue, $150,000. We are so thankful for those of you who have already made your gifts. Because of you, we've already hit 25% of our fundraising goal for today. Thank you very much. As a result of the COVID-19, the homes have had to make budget cuts and reallocations. They are counting on every single dollar just to support basic needs. Without this support, they will have challenges providing the basic needs of food, shelter, and healthcare. We cannot let that happen. Today, you all have the power. We're inviting each of you to make a meaningful gift today. Everyone in attendance, everyone on this call has an opportunity to change a life. This is Luis. This picture was taken on our last regional trip down to the home in Honduras. Join me in ensuring that Luis and all of our children have continued access to nutritious food, adequate health care, and an enriched education. At NPH, we don't have the option to close our doors and say, go home and be with your families. We are their homes. We are Luis's family. This is the time where they need us the most. As we all shelter in place with our families, I ask you to remember our little brothers and sisters. Instructions on how to make a gift online or where you can mail a check will appear on your screen at this time. It will also appear in the chat box. Please open your chat link and go to our website and make your donation now. As you're all making your gifts, I'd like to acknowledge the people who made this event possible. As you heard earlier, we are combining events from 6 different cities across the region. The people listed here have been champions for NPH, and we are so grateful to have them advocating for us, getting their friends and family involved, and allowing us to expand our reach. The work we do here at NPH is so important, and we can't do it alone. Although we aren't in person today in all of these cities for these events like we wish to be, we still wanted to say thank you for everyone who's made a commitment to NPH, invited you all here today, and will continue to invite us into their homes, into their hearts, and into their families. We consider you friends, we count you as blessings, and we can't say thank you enough. Now, I'd like to introduce our virtual Power of One co-chairs, who are going to talk about a new sponsorship opportunity. Martha Fogler is a member of the NPH USA National Board and the Southwest Regional Board. Eileen Shalowski was an international volunteer in NPH Mexico and currently serves on the Southwest Regional Board. Martha and Eileen?
All right, I'm up. Thank you, Xavier. And thanks to all of you for joining us today from all across our region. I'm Martha Fogler, zooming in from Phoenix. We're excited to introduce a new sponsorship opportunity that allows you to provide a strong foundation for all of our children. Mi Casa is a recurring sponsorship that allows you to support an entire home, providing food, shelter, loving caregivers, teachers, and security for all the children. This allows us to extend our programs and services to the surrounding communities as well. The sponsorship is $50 a month, and as a reminder, we have homes in 9 different countries: Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Peru, and Bolivia. This is a great way to support a home in a country that you have a particular fondness for or where you hope to visit someday soon. Now I'm going to turn this over to Eileen, who will tell you what you receive when you are a Mi Casa sponsor. Eileen?
Hi, thank you, Martha. I'm so happy to be here today. Mi Casa is a very important part of sponsoring NPH because it provides the financial stability that each house needs. Of the 9 homes that we have across Latin America and the Caribbean, a Mi Casa sponsor chooses which home or homes, because you can sponsor you can sponsor all of our homes. And then at that time, you'll receive a welcome letter from the director of the house. Ongoing, you will receive updated quarterly newsletters. The newsletters will provide information on the daily life at the home, also progress reports on programs and projects that we have going on in that home country. As a former international volunteer from Mexico, I was lucky enough to be able to live in Mexico, and I've also visited the home in Nicaragua and Guatemala. And I have to say that each home definitely has its own personality. It has its own way of life. And even though we're all in this together, you know, each home is as unique as the inhabitants. If you'd like more information at the end of our program, we will provide we'll provide contact information from our regional staff, and they can answer your questions. If you'd like to sign up, you can go ahead and go online at www.nphusa.org/Mi Casa. Thank you for your time today. Really appreciate everybody being here. And now we're going to take you back to Lindsay.
Thank you so much, Eileen and Martha. And as we mentioned on the invitation, everyone who registered before the event was registered into a drawing to win a $100 Grubhub gift card. And we're going to put the winner up right now. And the winner is Velvet Abrams. She's from Gilbert, Arizona. So congratulations, Velvet. A staff member will be in touch with you after the luncheon to confirm your contact information so we can get the gift card to you. Now we encourage you to ask any questions that you may have by clicking the Q&A option that appears when you hover your mouse toward the bottom of your screen. If you're feeling shy or want to direct your question directly to a staff member, contact information for that staff will be displayed during the Q&A. I'd now like to introduce our Regional Board Chair, Stephanie Friend, for closing remarks.
Thank you, Lindsay. This is the time in a normal luncheon when we would present a bouquet of flowers to our MC with a hug or handshake. Please know we are all sending virtual hugs of gratitude to you, Lindsay, for all you do to support NPH. We also want to thank our sponsor today, the Hear Me Roar Foundation and their board of directors. Thank you to the Southwest Regional Board of Directors from Denver and Boulder, Colorado, Santa Clara and Alamo, California, Tucson, Marana, Phoenix, Chandler, Tempe, and Scottsdale, Arizona, and all the way from Key West, Florida. And of course, we want to thank each of you who joined us today in this unconventional, but perhaps new normal event. Dr. Edwin and Xavier will be answering your questions now, so please stick around. You can also learn more about NPH at nphusa.org and donate at nphusa.org/power. Thanks again for joining us today. Stay safe, be well, and God bless you and your families.
People are going to start dropping.
All right, so it's time for the Q&A section, and I have several questions on my text. So if you see me referring to my phone here, that's because we've gotten several and I'm referring to them on my phone. So the first question that we have is from Lauren Dominguez in Danville, California, and this is to Xavier. Can we write to our godchildren at this time?
So great question. Thanks, Lauren. Communications have been slowed to our homes right now for obvious reasons due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We're encouraging everyone to visit our website and write to your pequeño electronically through our emailing system. You can contact any of us in our office, as you see up on your screen right now, for more information about that. And our hopes are that the email communications will hit the pequeños quicker than regular snail mail.
All right, and our next question is from Mark Latham in Dallas, Texas. And this is to Dr. Edwin. What are your greatest needs at this time?
Thanks, Lisa, and thanks for the question. Right now at the homes, we are trying to prepare to respond to a potential COVID case in our homes. So mostly we would like to have is the designated funds to try to buy locally here PPE, supplies and equipment in order to increase our capacity to respond in our clinics.
Okay, and this next question is from Carol Cullivan. This is from Tucson, Arizona, and this is also to Dr. Edwin. Has the virus directly affected any staff or pequeños as of today?
So far, as of today, we haven't received any report of affected staff or kids. So we are constantly providing education to our staff and our kids. So far we are doing good, but the COVID is getting close to our communities. So we are a little scary, but so far I'm okay. Thanks.
That's great to hear. This is from Olivia Friend here in Phoenix, Arizona, also to Dr. Edwin. She says, thank you for all of your work. Do the children understand the pandemic and why they are in quarantine? What are the homes doing to educate the children?
Yeah, it's hard for the children, but our family service staff, they are designing, protocols and guidelines in order to teach the tios, the caregiver, how to tell the children what's happening and how we are getting prepared and explaining why are we taking some measures. Measures that we are taking are very hard. So we are trying to explain them, supported by our family service staff in ways that they can receive better that information.
And this is from Greg Fiorindo in Moraga, California. Dr. Edwin, once again, are you doing any COVID testing in Honduras?
Right now, the only capacity is the government. The government is the only one who has capacity to do tests. They are only doing PCR, and those are the ones who we receive from World Health Organization. So that's the main issue here. We don't have enough tests to do, and we are only doing at country level 50 or 100 tests daily, and that's why we are detecting very low incidence of case, but probably because we don't have enough tests. As you know, that the richest countries are retaining all the tests. So it's a big issue here, and hopefully in the future we can get some tests.
And this is our final question from an anonymous person, and this is going to Xavier. Is spiritual formation or Christian education part of what NPH offers?
Great question, thank you. Yes, we were founded by a Catholic priest in 1954, and all of our kids are brought up with Catholic Christian principles and values. We conduct masses at our home, and we truly believe that it's a great way to provide some structure and guidance for our Pequeños. And we encourage them to explore religions that they see fit, but we think it's great for them to grow up with that formation. So I think that was our last question. So thank you, Lindsay. You were a great MC as always. Thank you, Edwin, for being our keynote today and sticking around for the Q&A. From the bottom of our hearts, we can't say thank you enough to all of you that logged on today and stayed on, have already gone on to make gifts, or will go on to make your gift. If you haven't yet, that link one more time is nphusa.org/power. Also on that link, in about 2 hours, you'll be able to find a recording of today's presentation. If you missed a piece, hopped on late, had to leave early, wanted to share this with your friends and family, we encourage you to go there and find the recording and share it with as many people as you'd like. Again, I'd like to thank our events co-chairs, Martha Fogler and Eileen Shalowski, along with our event committee, Donna Clancy and Stephanie Friend. You four really poured time, love, and passion into this event today, and we can't say thank you enough. Your devotion is unparalleled, and thank you, thank you, thank you. We would like to close out today with a short video. Immediately following the video, you will see information about our upcoming pre-Mother's Day virtual happy hour. Thank you so much for coming. Stay safe and well with your families. And as always, you are in our thoughts and prayers.
¡Fuerte! ¡Era fuerte! ¡Era fuerte! Te quiero mucho. Ya. ¡Lo queremos mucho!
From all the children of NPH 80, we send you all our love and prayers to be safe from coronavirus. We need your love and help. Be strong.
Hey everyone, Kevin here with breaking news straight from Washington, D.C. The Senate, just